The shadows are starting to get long. And I kind of need them to, because I am attempting to level this spot out for my barn. And the dimensions of the barn are 74 by 40. And I've got the thing pretty level. I did it last night. But when you have a job like this, that's sort of beyond your capabilities. I got my little skid steer and I got a tractor. That's what I got. I'm not about to rent some excavator and all that $500 delivery. I can't do that. I mean, I suppose I could, but this building's already going to cost me kind of a lot. So in order to afford this, I can't do things like a regular construction company might. So since I couldn't justify buying a $500, $600 transom to get all this leveled out, I decided to look into some of the techniques that they use on Star Wars for light and buy a smaller laser. And this laser says it'll go 33 feet. But what I learned from Star Wars is, while you say that your lightsaber is going to go out, I don't know, 3 feet, that's, you know, that's science fiction, right? That fiction, that's the key word there. But light can't go out 33 feet and stop. So I bought this little laser, that guy right there, and it's gonna have to do. Now, I leveled this up pretty good last night, but it was pretty wet still, so some of the areas were soggy. And in order to get that to kind of level out, it's a little bit like making bread, I suppose. You take the wet ingredients, like you got mud, and here's a good example. I got some mud over here, and it's pretty squishy, you know, so when you drive on it, you just kind of sink in there and it makes a big rut. Well, if you mix some of this dry dirt with it, like that, there's pretty dry dirt, mix that with it and mush through there a few times, then it kind of evens out a little bit and you end up with kneading that dough and getting it. Well, so I couldn't finish all of it yesterday. I mean, I got it pretty level, but then I had to kind of do it during the day where I could see what was going on, get the bread dough mixed up and everything like that. But I used this laser and I stuck it, it's got a little magnetic thing, and I stick it on this little metal rod. So I just take it and stick it down there really low to the ground, and then I'll turn that laser on and it'll shine across there and illuminate all the high points. And then you'll get kind of a line that might go out across the ground like that or something, and then you can take and shovel it off or level it out somehow. Well, this ground gets really hard. I mean, really hard when it's dry. So all the places that were high, and I took all this down last night, the places that are high, and got them down below the laser beam and worked it as I went out across with a skid steer to kind of reduce that level. So it's pretty level right now. And hopefully tonight I will finish up kind of getting an idea of where it needs to level out or how close I am. I'm kind of hoping I'm within 4 inches more or less, most places, and we can level it more. with just sort of knocking down the high spots a little bit with the bucket, dragging it across there rather than cutting it down 4 or 5 inches, because that is really, and then you get, tearing up the ground with the tires and everything. It creates ruts on the backside of where you're digging. So you get this leveled out, and you kind of probably can't tell it, but it looks like a little bit of a bowl from the inside, because as you level the outside, then the laser goes across, right? It travels across where there's nothing obstructing it, and then when it gets to the outside, it stops, and that's kind of the line you end up with. But hopefully tonight I'll get that all more or less leveled down to within 4 inches of everything, and have this site prepped and ready to go. That little laser there, it cost me about $50 versus that $500 one. Of course, I have to wait till it gets dark, and there's limitations on what that'll do, but it's not like Star Wars, right? That beam isn't going to go out 4 feet and stop at the end of the lightsaber thing. You can't do that. It's not, that's fiction. That's not science. That isn't the way it works. Light keeps going. Even though this laser says it's only going to go 33 feet, it will go until it more or less dims out. So that's what I'm kind of counting on, that this 33-foot laser can do 74 foot by 40 feet and get this all leveled up tonight. Wish me luck.